Welcome back, everybody. This is NAB Show Studio 1. We are coming to you live in the last hour of NAB Show 2014. We're so excited that you're joining us at nabshow.com. I'm Carrie Ferenac.
And I'm Rachel Kopczyk. It has been an amazing NAB show. So much great content here. So many great interviews we've had, and we're going to recap a lot of it and bring you some new content right here on this show.
Absolutely. We've got some numbers hot off the press. Let's show you some video from the show floor. These numbers are just in, actually. The total registered attendance for NAB Show 2014, 98,015. That's actually up 4% over last year. Exhibit space also up 7% from last year. Total number of exhibits, 1,746. Incredible, with the space being 35 football fields wide. One of the spaces on the show floor that's garnered a lot of attention this year is the Sprocket Hub. Rachel's been covering that from the beginning, so we're going to hear her report right away.
For startup companies, Sprocket is the place to be for fostering innovation. Here's a look at what these startup companies are doing to change today's media world.
ShareRocket is a social media rating solution for the broadcast industry. We are launching here at NAB at the Sprocket Hub, and we bring the same approach to share-based metrics to social that Nielsen brought to broadcast and ComScore did to digital.
Iris is an emotion recognition technology, so our flagship product is EmoView. It's a software that reads people's facial microexpressions in real time as they watch videos on their computer.
Website's twice as fast, and we make sure that it's only the right visitors visiting the site. So we take out all that bad traffic, and at the end of the day, we drop the latency, we drop bandwidth costs, and we make it just a safer, faster, more well-lit environment for the website.
WatchUp reinvents the way we watch the news with a personalized and multi-channel stream that lives on your iPad, Android tablet, Google Glass, and soon to other emerging screens. For video news publishers, it's a great way to better distribute their content in the age of the tablets, in the age of wearables, in the age of personalization.
If you want to learn more about Sprocket and how you can get involved for next year, just head to sprocketglory.com.
It's been such a big success. We want to bring in Harry Glazer now, really the man behind Sprocket. Harry, how did it go this year?
Unbelievable, watching these iconic companies engage with the startups and the looks on everybody's face. They, when you see a startup talking to Google or talking to Disney, ABC, and guys, have you ever thought about doing it like this? And the people are looking back on, that's a great idea. That's pretty powerful. And then you look at the startups and they have 200 business cards in front of them. That's just from that one day. And one of our startups I had to reorder another 500 cards. So I'm going, wow.
That's amazing. And really, this is not the end. In fact, this is the kickoff, right? Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about what happens now for these companies.
Okay. So what we're doing is connect this community of the 27 startups, the startups we had from last year, and the community of founding members that we have. So we probably have about 70 folks in this community. We're going to connect them in an online virtual network hosted by Google. And then we're going to have 3 one-day meetings where we get down to business. So first one's going to be at Stanford University. It's something called Media X. We're going to have a day-and-a-half meeting there, talking about challenges in the industry, how to bring new products, services, and revenue models to market. At the end of the first day, Google's invited us over to their corporate headquarters to meet their team and have a cookout. So the next one's going to be at New York Television Week, and the one after that's going to be at USC at something called the Entertainment Technology Center there.
Cool. Harry, thanks so much for being with us. A definite success at the Sprocket Hub. Speaking of new, we want to switch gears a little bit and talk about new media. Rachel Kopczyk's here with Rick Calvert, right, Rachel?
That's right. Yes, the New Media Lounge. This is the first year you guys have put this on. Rick, tell us, how has it been? Was it a success for you?
Yeah, it was definitely a success. We're over there live streaming video, we're podcasting. It's just kind of a meeting point for anybody who's involved in the new media space.
Have you gotten any sort of feedback from people throughout the show about the New Media Lounge that you created?
Yeah, definitely feedback. People are looking for more of what we're doing and lots of questions. What exactly is new media? What are you guys doing here? Those kind of things.
So what are you guys doing here? What is some of the new media that you were showcasing in there?
Well, so I founded New Media Expo in 2007, which I describe to people who know what NAB is as the NAB of the future. So people who create video and audio and text for the web, come to New Media Expo to learn how to create, distribute, and monetize content, which is exactly what we do here at NAB. So I've also been saying for many years now that the traditional media and new media are converging, and what we're doing with the New Media Lounge is a sign of that. It's a time where the cost of the products that you see here at New Media Expo, the technology is getting smaller and getting cheaper every year, so it's now at a level where new media content creators can afford that stuff, and also at the same time they're monetizing their content at a level to where now it's viable with their potential customers for the exhibitors here at NAB.
And what are your plans for next year? Do you guys have any plans, any new thoughts on what you're going to do for the lounge next year?
Bigger, better, more.
That's the goal of everybody, right? Awesome.
World domination, to put it short, world domination.
All right, we're going to send it over to Carrie, who's got bigger and better things as well on our social media numbers.
Fantastic. Bigger, better, more. I love it. And that's what it's been like on social, right? Hot off the wire. Sam Stanton, Red Button TV. Tell us the numbers.
Unbelievable, record-breaking, honestly, for just about any event. 38 million people were engaged or are engaged talking about NAB Show with over 261 million impressions and mentions. That's 250 million mentions. That's crazy. And that was done off 30,000 tweets, just a little bit under there, and 6,800 Instagram posts.
Wow. You know, you mentioned Instagram. That's really new, kind of blowing up this year, right? Why do you think the popularity of that has taken off?
It's an image-based network, of course, so people share images, and those are much more sticky, much more shareable than my 140 characters, so to speak.
Wow, incredible, just amazing. We've got a lot more coming up. Speaking of the future and all the things going on, Rachel actually had a chance to do an interview on Mars.
We've sent men and women to space and to the moon, and of course the next natural step is Mars. And I'm joined by the co-founder of Mars One, Bas Landstorp. Bas, explain Mars One to people who maybe haven't heard of it or aren't sure what the mission's all about.
Mars One is a not-for-profit organization that wants to create a permanent human settlement on Mars. And we will do that by sending a first crew to Mars in 2025. And instead of trying to bring that crew back to Earth, we're going to keep sending humans to Mars every 2 years. So this is really a mission of permanent settlement, a one-way trip to Mars.
And you're also going to be creating a whole environment on Mars. Tell us about that lifestyle that's going to be created.
Well, even before we send the first crew, we're going to establish a unmanned but habitable outpost on Mars to make sure that when our first crew lands, they will find a place to live. And then over the years, we'll expand that with more modules and with technologies for the crew to actually build their own systems and habitable volumes on Mars, and really creating the next branch of the human civilization.
And where does the media world fit into the Mars One world?
The world of media is very important for Mars One, and actually I started Mars One when I found the revenue numbers of the Olympic Games. The Olympic Games have revenues of more than $4 billion from sponsorships and broadcasting rights, and that's almost as much as we need for the entire mission, and that's just 3 weeks of broadcasting. So where we will need the media is by sharing this story with the world and creating the platform for our sponsors and the broadcasters to make this happen.
Are you bringing internet and TVs and radio up to Mars as well?
Well, our crews will certainly be able to watch TV and listen to the radio, their favorite radio stations here on Earth. But more importantly, we will bring cameras to Mars, so our astronauts, who are basically the envoys of mankind to the next planet, they will want to share their story of exploration with people here on Earth.
And of course, you've been asked this before, but are you going to ever go up and live up there?
Well, I started Mars One because I wanted to go to Mars, but the most challenging part of our mission is not the technology and it's not the finance. It's finding a crew that's psychologically up to the task of leaving everything and everyone behind on Earth and cohabitating a very small environment for 3 years before the second crew joins them. 7 months on the way to Mars, and 2 years on the surface of Mars before the second crew joins them. And I'm a real entrepreneur. I'm impatient, I'm stubborn, and these are good qualities for an entrepreneur because you make things happen, but they're very bad qualities for going to Mars. So I hope to join one of the next crews.
Exactly. And if people want to be considered to go to Mars, what's the process? How can they get involved?
We'll start a new round of applications after the summer. We've already had one, and we had more than 200,000 applications. But we'll have another one after the summer, and people can go to our website and subscribe to the newsletter. They will be informed when it's possible to apply again.
Best of luck. I really appreciate your time, Bas, and hopefully I can interview you on Mars one day.
I hope so too. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
So I'm joined now by Jessica Gonzalez, who's with the National Hispanic Media Coalition. And really, Jessica, you're here to talk about open internet. So let's give folks who may be watching, who aren't really adept at this, tell us a little bit about what that means.
Sure. The basic idea is that once you pay to get on the internet, you're able to access the entire internet, and that your internet service provider cannot block you from certain websites or applications, or give certain priority to websites and applications that can pay more to go faster. It's just kind of fair rules of the road.
Okay, and I know you're with the National Hispanic Media Coalition. Tell us a little bit about why this topic is important, why you all are advocating for this.
We do a lot of work with Latino independent creators, Latino writers who are trying to break into the industry. And the internet, the open internet, has been a valuable tool in disseminating their content and finding an audience. And without fair rules of play, these little guys don't have the same opportunity to get online and to really find their audience and their voice.
So that makes sense. And now let's take a look from the broadcaster side. Why is this important for folks who are in broadcasting?
You know, we just hosted a great conference a couple of weeks ago, and the heads of ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox were all there. And several of them shared that their audience is finding them sometimes after binge watching shows on Netflix. And so there's like this virtuous cycle of synergy that's happening between online programming and the traditional broadcasters. In addition, we also learned that there are some broadcast companies that are looking online for new talent. And so it's a really exciting way to find who's really hot and build your own brand.
That's very cool. All right, so if broadcasters out there are watching, how can they find out more? How can they contact the FCC?
Well, first I welcome them to come to our website, nhmc.org, or they can, of course, visit the FCC's website at fcc.gov.
Fantastic. Jessica, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, take a look. These are the final moments of NAB Show 2014. You're looking at a live picture of the show floor. We've got about 40 minutes left. So folks are starting to head out, but a lot of people are trying to find that last deal, make that next contact, because this is it for a whole year. And there has been so much going on. We've had a chance to catch up with a lot of attendees. Rachel Kopczyk's here now too. Rachel, what have you found out there on the show floor?
Yeah, everyone's really had a great experience. I heard a lot of the word learning. People are excited to learn. They like one-on-one interaction. And we just really wanted to know what opportunities people are getting from the NAB show. Check it out.
See what's new, get your hands on it, and some cameras I would have never bought if I hadn't have touched them here and seen how they operate. Everything else would just have been a catalog or a web order, and I probably wouldn't have bought it.
Being from Brazil, we're a little away from the newest technologies, so we come here to update our knowledge.
I think just getting a lot of FaceTime with people that I've seen over the years, and I've seen it grow every year that I've gone, especially with the economy picking back up, so that's been super exciting.
We're in radio broadcast software automation, and the expansion of that, I think in today's industry, the relevance, is being able to expose that content, expose that programming in a wider area.
Honestly, I love the fact that there's multiple booths here, because whenever you have an issue with a product or something, you don't really have to call ahead and find out, hey, can I get someone to talk to? Here you can just say, hey, I have a problem with my share mics. Can you express, can you let me know what am I doing wrong? I'm doing this, this, and that. And I just think it's such a great opportunity just to come here and just learn, you know?
Just the one-on-one with each manufacturer to see the ins and outs and what I'm actually purchasing. We're spending a lot of money on a video switcher, cameras, and it's nice to just not buy it and then figure it out when we get it into the stations, you know, and actually look at it all now.
At Shively Labs, we do FM broadcasting equipment, antennas, filters, and this is the best place. It gathers everybody in one location, so it gets the word out, it lets everybody see new equipment we have, so we're really happy.
Hi, everybody. We are back. We are live right here at NAB Show Studio 1. I'm joined now by Carrie and Carly, who's with Operation Interdependence. We've had a lot of nonprofits here at NAB, and Karen, tell us a little bit about yours.
Operation Interdependence is a nonprofit, 100% volunteer organization. We ship 20,000 civilian rations to our troops every month.
Wow. That's amazing. Tell us what you were doing here at NAB Show.
We come here to let people know what we do, what we're about, how we work, and we also collect products to take back and ship to the troops, but we're also here to help raise postage funds. It cost us $9,000 a month to ship.
Wow, this has got to mean the world, though, to the military folks who receive these. Tell us a little bit about what's in the packages and how it impacts them.
Every single package has to have a note from home. We won't send one without it. So 20,000 notes a month is an awful lot.
Wait, how does that work? 20,000 notes a month. How do you collect that many notes?
Everybody that we can, we get them to write a note, whether it's a church group, a single person, anybody that would love to write a note, get in touch with us. We'll certainly put them into our packages.
Wow, that's amazing. Speaking of, if folks want to help, either donate postage fees or send a note, how do they find out more?
All they have to do is go to our website, oidelivers.org, and click onto the contact button, and we'll be happy to give them any information they want. They can also donate right on our website.
Wow, that's fantastic. Karen, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it. You know, there really has been a pretty large military presence here. Lots of organizations that help veterans, and there's even a MiG-17 here. Rachel Kopczyk had a chance to catch up with the guys from the Patriots jet team.
When you think of the NAB show, of course, cameras and editing equipment come to mind, but not necessarily a Russian MiG, which is what is right behind us. And I'm joined by two of the members of the Patriots jet team, Wilbur and Scratch. Tell me, how did this whole idea of bringing a Russian MiG to the NAB show come about?
NAB partnered up with our agency, Exact Market, and they decided they wanted something just unique, something that they don't normally see here. And I think we've done it. When's the last time you saw a blue MiG-17 on the parking lot, right? So we're giving the attendees of NAB a chance to come out and get in the cockpit, look around, get to know the Patriots jet team, and understand what we do and what we offer.
And Scratch, what did your agency even think about this when this whole idea came about?
Well, we have a very close relationship with our agency, and they look for out-of-the-box solutions on things, and they also have a close relationship with NAB, and so there was a natural relationship there, and they said, wouldn't it be cool to bring a jet to NAB? And we said, yes, we're on board with that.
And what else does the Patriots jet team do?
Well, the Patriots jet team is comprised of guys that have former military jet team experience. We have former Blue Angels, former Thunderbirds, former Canadian Snowbirds, and with that skill set, it makes it just the obvious answer that our bread and butter is performing at air shows around the country. But in addition to that, we like to support corporate events. We have a 30,000 square foot hangar that we like to call the Hangar of Dreams, and it's full of airplanes like this. And it's just a great place that we can bring in corporate events, host them. We can do in-air events as well. We can do flyovers. We have two-seat airplanes that we can offer VIP experiences in the back seat so you can see firsthand how we fly. And then we can do just what we're seeing today. We can bring an airplane on a trailer and put people in the cockpit and answer questions one-on-one.
And luckily, this jet behind us doesn't actually fly, so if someone comes down to test it out, right, they won't be able to take off.
There's no ignition switch in this one.
That's a good thing, I think, when you take it to events. And you guys are also very involved in, of course, the broadcast world, because putting jets as beautiful as this are very entertaining. You have a new show coming out. Why don't you tell us a little more about that?
Well, the Patriots Jet team has been involved with a number of television productions over the years, reaching out to millions and millions of people. But this year, we have an amazing opportunity. In fact, I'm involved as one of the producers of the series for Discovery Channel, an observational documentary series about the air show industry, and it's highlighting and featuring as one of the key characters the Jet team. And we're really excited about that because that'll reach the airways real soon.
Exactly. And I've always wanted to know, how did you guys get your nicknames?
Every nickname comes with a story, right? My last name is Wright, and so you're either going to be a Wilbur or an Orville or a Never or a Seldom or something like that, right? So I'm Wilbur. That's it.
That's great. And Scratch, your story is pretty good. You were telling me about it.
I'll never tell. No. In truth, I was a baby fighter pilot, and I made a mistake in my first time air-to-air refueling. I scratched the airplane a bit, and so indelibly therever after, I was the Scratch Man.
That's great. If I were to have a nickname, what would mine be?
Well, let's see. I'm thinking Mike. Yeah.
Like M-I-C, right? All right, thanks so much, guys. This is great. Come out to the Silver Lot. Check out the MiG fighter jet right here on the lot.
Here at NAB Show, there are folks representing television stations and radio stations of all sizes. And now we're here to talk about the Small Market Television Exchange. I'm joined by Michael Speisman. And Michael, tell us a little bit about what SMTE is all about.
Well, interestingly, once upon a time, the NAB got the impression that they were catering to their larger market members. And then 28 years ago, the Small Market Television Exchange was born. Today, 28 years later, over 500 attendees join this meeting every year.
Wow, that's a lot of attendees. The Small Market Television Exchange. All right, tell me a little bit about the annual meeting. When is it, where is it, and what can we expect?
Well, this year it'll be in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, September 18th through 20th. But what can you expect? You could expect to join some 500 other medium and small size broadcasters, market size 75 and smaller, and they will come check their egos at the door and really do sales training, leadership training, digital training. Groups and individuals, more than 60 groups attend and send multiple attendees.
Wow, that sounds pretty intense. Tell us, before we go, what are the main takeaways? If I want to come to SMTE, what am I going to learn there?
Well, you're going to learn how to be a leader. You're going to learn how to become re-energized about the business. So when you go back to your station on Monday morning, you're going to have very, very tangible methods to stimulate your salespeople and revenue. You're going to learn about new digital opportunities. You're going to be able to network with many, many broadcasters that swim in the same pool that you do every day, but maybe 3,000 miles away. And you're going to take away our very famous compilation of promotional ideas that you get for attending.
Fantastic. Michael, thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate learning a little bit more about the Small Market Television Exchange.
That's right. Welcome back. We want to also talk about a couple of other two really hot topics that have been discussed at the NAB show throughout the show. We want to start with radio, specifically the Next Radio hybrid radio. It's really gaining a lot of momentum. So there was even a session held called Digital Strategies Exchange, where a lot of radio managers were able to discuss ways to measure online listeners better, the role that radio is now playing in the connected car. And the thing with the hybrid radio is that they're combining visual, instant feedback, being able to browse stations, and really giving the listener the opportunity to choose what they're listening to. So that's creating some different challenges for radio managers that they really wanted to discuss and work out here, and that's what's great about NAB Show. They can do that here. You can talk through things. And then one of the other topics we have to talk about is, of course, live events. So we know on-demand content is extremely popular. It's being talked about here as well constantly. But the live events also draw big ratings, big money, big numbers. And there's there's a couple of challenges here as well that was discussed at NAB. First of all, crashing live streams. That's happened with just over the weekend with Game of Thrones, and it's happened in sporting events. So it's really about figuring out solutions to solving that for the future because it's really become so popular. So one of those solutions is making IT and IP, they need to be more reliable, and then figuring out some sort of combination of IT and broadcast. So that's just some of the hot topics being discussed here. We're going to have more coming up after the break on NAB Show Extra. We'll be right back.
Do you know what it means to have someone's back? To have another life depend on you and only you?
Where your vision, your defense, your support
is the very thing that is the difference in their life or death.
This feeling is known in the truest form by those that willingly protect you and me every day.
In the military, got your six means I've got your back.
Today, Got Your Six is more than a term. It's a way to bring military veterans and civilians together.
It's a show of respect for all who served.
And a way to ensure that they return home to be seen as assets and leaders.
I've got your six.
I've got your six.
I've got your six.
I've got your six.
I've got your six. I've got your six.
I've got your six.
I've got your six.
Find out how you can help. Visit gotyoursix.org today.
Welcome back, everybody. We are live at NAB Show Studio 1, joined by now the man of the hour, Chris Brown, Executive Vice President for Convention and Business Operations here at NAB. Chris, what a show. Tell us how successful it's been.
It's been fantastic. You know, the cannons, the rockets, the fireworks are all about to go off here to celebrate the close. And we're still going, which is terrific. It's been that kind of a show. You know, we've announced just a little over 98,000 total registrants for the show. It's a number we probably haven't hit in 12 years plus, which is fantastic, and it's felt that way all week. I mean, I think, you know, we keep hearing comments from people, you know, best show in, you know, long time. You know, I'm seeing more people than ever. You know, all the way around, just a terrific show.
I know you all made a lot of efforts to help folks get around because it's 35 football fields worth of space. How did that go? Was that a success?
Yeah, we're hearing great feedback on a few of the tools we implemented. Audio tours, for example, which were built into the app. And you know, was just talking to somebody earlier who took advantage of kind of our overview audio tour and just said, you know, for a show this size, to be able to kind of you know, pack into 2.5 hours a nice quick, you know, tour and look at kind of what they ought to be trying to ferret out of this big show was just tremendous. So you know, that's a program I think you'll see us really expanding in the future because that's, you know, again, one of the challenges we have. There's so many things to see here. It's a pretty complex business, and you got to be able to kind of guide people through it. So we're excited about that feedback. And it was, you know, I think the human touch. We added some folks in the aisles to help direct people. You know, I do think that absolutely helped. You know, it's always great just to give people that quick, you know, face-to-face. We're in the face-to-face business, right? So that worked well.
All right, I assume you take at least a small vacation and then gear up for next year. Anything on your mind, bigger, better? What's going to happen next year? Or too early to tell?
I got a million ideas. One thing I do think this was a great first step, broadcast studio. I can see us doing a whole lot more here. I'm really excited about how this came together, all the great work that you and your team have done. But we really want this to be kind of a central gathering point, something that really kind of excites people, something that kind of not only informs, but really does kind of represent the real passion that people have for this business, and it is about broadcast and about live and production, and it's all kind of happening here. So I think this is a good start, but I think we can do so much more here. So I'm really excited, about this. And yeah, as I said, million ideas. We go back, and believe it or not, we don't take a month off, or 6 months off. I've often had people go, "What do you do the other, 11 months of the year?" We get right back into it. So we're going to dig in and break this down kind of A to Z and look at everything that we can improve upon and really start to lay in some brand new ideas.
Fantastic. Well, we have had so much fun producing here at NAB Show Extra, working with the folks at NAB Show Live. Really some great content. Chris, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, Carrie, and great show, everybody. Thanks.
We appreciate it very much. Let's check in with Rachel Kopczyk. She's with some attendees to find out why they're here at NAB Show.
Exactly. Just like Chris said, this show is great. It's been bigger and better. And you, Adam, have been coming for many years. And you came this year with a little bit of a different aspect. Tell us about that.
Normally I'm a film and television editor in Los Angeles. And now I'm the host of a radio podcast show called Going Postal. We cover post-production, pop culture, a little bit of the geeky side of things. And we made a big splash here at NAB. We were doing live interviews with Art of the Guillotine. We've recorded live shows, and we're just getting the word out.
Right. What was your experience like, considering this time you were coming and targeting more of the radio side of the industry? What was that experience like for you?
We weren't actually targeting the radio. Radio is just the medium. We all work in post-production, so basically what our show covers is filmmaking, production, post-production, all of that sort of stuff. We just use radio as the medium to deliver that.
And if you could summarize NAB Show this year in one sentence, what would you say?
Can I go home now?
I know, right? No, we want more NAB. And what was your experience like at NAB Show this year?
Oh, it was a big whirlwind, because usually I just come for like the Post-Production World Conference on the weekend, because I usually have to work during the week, and I came here with Adam for Going Postal, and so I was doing interviews, I was running off the sessions, I was actually live tweeting, and I actually got the very important tweeter award yesterday and won a nice set of headphones, and because I was just tweeting about everything that didn't have to do with the gear and more it had to do with the craft and the creative, and that's another side of NAB people don't realize exists, and it's my favorite part of it. And so it was just a really fun experience, and I got to see so much of everything, and it was great.
And what was some of your guys' experience at NAB Show, and what opportunities do you think you really gained from the show this year?
Well, my husband and I have a web series called Kick Cancer in the Can with Diane, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer 4 years ago, and we'd been coming to NAB for years, and this is where content is brought to life, and we started the web series. It's empowering, and it's helping people go through the diagnosis of cancer. You can catch it and support us on www.kickcancerinthecanwithdiane.org, and we have incredible sponsors from NAB. Coming here is just a great experience for the web series.
And knowledge. We learn every time. Technically, we learn a lot. And we've been shooting the series with professional cameras, but a lot of times we run into meeting with doctors who are a little camera shy. So we actually started shooting interviews with the iPhone, and it's incredible because it's less intimidating and obtrusive. And you're going to get it at the NAB store. They're called Handables. They fit on the back of your phone, and it's the cheapest Steadicam you can buy, but it actually works. You can actually do nice, smooth shots, and it's at the NAB store.
And this is our animator for the show. Every web series needs an animator. Right.
And we actually met on NAB 3 years ago.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
So NAB is pretty much the biggest schmoozing event in showbiz, and
they don't know what schmoozing is. Somebody said, "What's a schmooze?"
Schmoozing, exactly. Thanks so much.
Selfie. We're going to invite you for a selfie.
Give me 1 second. Let me toss to break first, and then we'll take that selfie. We'll have more on NAB Show Extra right after the break.
but just.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're live as NAB Show 2014 wraps up. And you know, right here, we've been doing NAB Show Extra. But really, the newscast of record is NAB Show Live. It's been broadcasting at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. every day. That's twice as many newscasts this year as they had last year. And we're going to meet some of the contributors to NAB Show Live right now. We've got Anthony Istrico and Nora Kubak, both with Istrico Productions. All right, Anthony, you've gotten to see some cool stuff. Tell me what stands out.
So there's so many things out there from, 4K this year is all the rage. But one thing that really jumped out to me was Amazon has this WeVideo solution, which is a cloud-based editor. And nobody really talks about workflow in a self-contained space like that. And it was one thing that really jumped out at me, something that you can use tomorrow.
Oh, that's very cool. All right, Nora, you had some fun, hands-on. Tell me what really stood out for you.
I had so much fun. Well, mostly with all the stabilized camera systems, so the Movi and the Cineflex. I got to play with the Elite rig out on the show floor. I didn't get to go up in the helicopter, though. I was a little bummed about that. But, yeah, I think that's been the coolest thing for me to experience this year.
And tell me a little bit about the process. I mean, we're talking two broadcasters, right?
Yep.
So you guys turned this material day of, right? Tell me a little bit about how it worked for you.
So we were a team of 4 people on the ground, and 3 of us acted as hosts, and we'd be out all day shooting, and then Nora spent the afternoon cutting it up. And, capturing on HD SLR, and going right into the laptop, cutting right from there, kind of tracking as we needed to go, and our shot list was what we made of it. So it was a real run-and-gun production, and we delivered 4 shows in 4 days, and it was awesome.
Sounds very cool. All right, Nora, any parting thoughts? What are you going to tell your friends about this?
It was so cool. This is my first show. I think this was all of our first show. So we were really like kids in a candy store, just having so much fun exploring and playing. And I mean, I just wish it was a few more days extra,
I know we've all been working, right? So we didn't get a chance to go and play very much. So I'm glad you guys got a chance to do some hands-on stuff. Thanks so much for being with us. NAB Show Live was a huge success, largely in part to all of your hard work. So thanks so much. One of the other cool things here are some of the celebrities that have been on the show floor. At the Sprocket Hub, Damon Johns from Shark Tank was here. A Wall Street Journal reporter got to be here and to interview him. So we want to take a look at that story now.
I'm inside the Sprocket Pavilion, and I'm joined now by multi-platform journalist Lee Hawkins of the Wall Street Journal. Lee, it's great to have you here with Sprocket. Why don't you tell us, you just interviewed Damon John of Shark Tank. What was that like?
Well, Damon John is one of the best-known entrepreneurs, especially for young people, and he's had a really big impact on pop culture. He was one of the founders of the FUBU company and then built that company and was able to go on to Shark Tank and impart a lot of the knowledge that he's derived from all of his success and failures to all the people here. A lot of the startup that are here kind of working with the Sprocket organization and trying to figure out how to get their companies off the ground were the people that were in the audience. And they had some really good questions. I think one of the big things that was really important that people had to keep in mind was that Damon John didn't succeed from the beginning. I mean, he was a person that ran out of money 3 times for his company. He was working at Red Lobster by day and going to video sets by night, just hoping and praying that some of the artists would wear his clothing. And so he really told that story, and I think he really motivated a lot of people. He inspired people to keep going.
What other advice did he have for the audience, the Sprocket members?
Well, what was really cool is I asked him about the red flags that he sees when overly ambitious companies come to him that don't have a lot of substance and he said that a lot of companies kind of overinflate their perception of themselves and aren't realistic about what it's going to take for them to make it. They don't have a building block strategy, not a lot of substance to their business plan. They might come in and say, well, it's a $20 billion market, and if we can just get 1% of 1% of that, then we'll be successful. Well, Damon John is really looking for people who have already had a certain amount of success and have put in the sweat equity and shown that they're not just a flash in the pan and that they're not just in it for the emotional reason, but that they really believe that they can be successful based on what they've already done, not what they expect to do. And so that was one thing. I think a lot of the companies that are here already have demonstrated that they do have a high chance of success just by even being here and being part of the Sprocket organization. So that was very encouraging.
And what about for you, Lee, as a multi-platform journalist coming to NAB, the NAB show? It's a big deal. You get to see a lot of where the industry is going. What have you noticed thus far walking the show floor?
Well, that nobody knows where the industry is going. I mean, but the cool thing is that everybody's here trying to figure it out. You know, you mentioned that I am a multi-platform journalist, and it's taken me, you know, almost a decade from the time that I saw the convergence of the media to now to really become fluent across platforms and figure out ways as I step into every story I do to tell it across platforms. And so the challenge now is not just for me, but for the media company that I'm involved with and other companies that I put content out to how are they going to monetize that content? You know, in the newspaper industry, of course, we've had decades of almost a century of full-page ads and what that means, you know, the money that brings in. But now, how do you bring in sponsorships? How do you move beyond just pre-roll ads in the beginning and maybe the middle and the end, as you see some companies doing, but to figure out how to make money so you can have better production on the digital platform? And how can you do that without having a TV presence? And so I'm very encouraged by what I see in this industry with all of the companies now recognizing that we have this challenge, but to push into the next generation, it's going to take a lot of work. And I think all of the people here are well-intentioned, and what I'm trying to do is trying to figure out which model is going to stick and try to go in that direction.
And that's what everybody here at the NAB show is trying to do, and especially right here inside of Sprocket. Thanks so much. We really appreciate your time.
Rachel.
Welcome back. We are live at NAB Show Studio 1. NAB Show 2014 is winding down. We've only got about 15 minutes left. There's still some buzz on the show floor. Folks are still trying to get to that last booth just before it wraps up. If you're out there and if you're watching, keep those tweets coming. We're trying to set some new records. The hashtag is NAB Show. We'd love to see your pictures on Instagram. We'd love to hear what you think of this year's show. Believe it or not, plans are already in place for next year's show. We heard from Chris Brown. They do not mess around. We can show you some of the folks who are still right here at NAB Show. Some folks are heading out to the airport, but really, like I said, we're in the middle of it all at the Grand Lobby, Las Vegas Convention Center. There's still quite a bit of activity and buzz. So it's not over yet. Not over yet. Social media is still going strong as well. We heard from Sam Button with Red Button TV. They're doing buzz control. They've been monitoring social media the entire time. So we want to find out just a little bit more about those last-minute activities. Rachel Kopczyk is here with somebody from NAB to talk about that. Rachel.
Yes, I'm here with Ashley Fisher with NAB. Ashley, you guys launched something new this year, the arcades. Tell us what those arcades were like and where people can still find them.
Yeah, no problem. We have one in each hall. They're just an area where you can go to relax and unwind and recharge. Each area is a little different. One area has video games. One area we have lounge chairs. You can listen to radio. One area, we have Xbox. One's classic video games, stuff like that.
And there's still action going on right now, and it's Vegas, so that means cocktails all day long. There's some pop-up cocktail action happening.
Yeah, exactly. We have pop-up happy hours going on right now in each of our arcades, excuse me. And there's free drinks, popcorn, refreshments, all that. So before you leave, you should stop on by.
Yeah, get refueled before you head out of town. And do you guys have any fun plans or any thoughts on what you're going to be doing next year, or not gotten that far yet?
Well, you just have to hang tight and watch out and see what we can come up with.
Well, I'm sure it will be something great because the arcades was a great idea. And thank you so much, Ashley. We really appreciate your time. Carrie's got some more action over there on the show floor.
Hey, Rachel, thanks. That's right. We continue to keep up with attendees because we want to talk to folks to find out why they're here. Let's start with you. Tell us your name and what brings you to NAB Show.
Hi, my name's Deanna Baxter, and I'm here with eTribes. We provide audience engagement solutions, powering big brands like American Idol, America's Got Talent, but I'm also a filmmaker, so I'm geeking out on all of the equipment. It's been great. At night, I haven't been able to get out and party too much because I'm actually doing a Kickstarter campaign right now for my film, Cowboys Girl on Kickstarter. Go check it out.
Wow, you are busy, right? Yeah. Okay, first of all, we got to see this whole outfit. Let's see it. You got to tell us all about the kilt.
Yeah, Billy Campbell from Blind Spot Gear, all the way from Scotland. So I come out to NAB to check out how media is, how it's getting out there into the public domain, checking out the new platforms. You mentioned Kickstarter there. We're also on Kickstarter. We've got 5 days left. We're fully funded. So we're demonstrating our new light, new product. Totally awesome, called the Scorpion Light. And yeah, the place is revolutionary. You know, new things are happening here right now, right here. You've got to be here to keep on top of it.
Fantastic. Well said. Okay, we've got one more attendee here. Go ahead and give us your name and where you're from.
This is Hasan Özal from Akfa Holding Istanbul. We are TV integrator. We've been in the business for 15 years, but this is the first time I'm here. We are already working with many manufacturers. It's great to be with them here face to face.
Wow, Istanbul, that's a long trip, right? How long does it take you to get home?
Actually, I'm myself residing in New York, but the company originally based in Istanbul.
Okay, New York's far, but not quite as far, right? All right, we're excited that you're here. Thank you all for joining us. 98,015 is the number of actual registered attendees. So we're excited to have been talking to some of them, and this is NAB Show Extra.
Welcome back to NAB Show Extra. We want to remind you that just because NAB Show is wrapping up, there is still more content for you to be had throughout the year with Connect to Me. It's powered by New Bay Media, and it's also inspired by all of the conversations that are happening here on the NAB show floor, and it's going to continue throughout. So what you can find there, it's a website filled with content throughout the year. You know, we talk about all the problems and issues and new products that we're seeing here. We want to continue those conversations throughout the year. So you can do that with original content on the website and curated content. And if you want to check it out, you can just go to meworld.com. That's C2meworld.com. You can check it out. There's tons of content on there, always being updated. And speaking of being updated, Carrie, we've got some more information, more updates for us on our social media, right?
That's right, Rachel. I'm joined again by Sam Stanton with Red Button TV, our social media guru here. All right, Sam, give us the final numbers. The reach has really been incredible.
It is, and it has been. We've got over 30,000 posts. We've reached and had impressions and mentions of over 262 million. And that was amount of people reached was just over 38 million. So just unbelievable traffic. You do big events, you see lots of engagement, but not from 100,000 people for 5 days in a row.
Right. I mean, that really has been amazing. And, you know, something we've been talking about before, the amount of information coming in is so amazing. It's kind of like the fire hose, right? How do you make sense of it, and how do you make it relevant to the people who are here?
Well, it's interesting as we go along and through this social media journey, people are now beginning to see the need for curation, right? So you have content that's totally relevant for the trade show and content that's different for each and every breakout. So we had several breakouts yesterday, the Disruptive Media Conference, and they had lots of great information being shared, but they just needed to see just themselves. They didn't need to see what was happening in the trade show. So by setting up curated streams, they saw just the content they needed. So separating streams and content for particular audiences is a big deal right now.
Right. And a lot of folks are trying to figure out how to monetize social media. A lot of times that's sponsorships. We've had the VIT program sponsored by B&H. Tell us a little bit about VIT.
VIT is, of course, very important, tweeters. The fun thing with that is that we look in real time and see who's contributing the most, who perhaps has the biggest following, lots and lots of people with huge followings at this event, and then who's contributing the best content. And through that, we can recognize those people and reward them for their participation.
Fantastic. That was sponsored by B&H, and we want to check out their commercial right now.
My life has totally changed because of New Media Expo. And I had to tell the world, like I wanted everybody to know because I'm like, you guys need to go to New Media Expo.
All right, all newsrooms are trying to manage social media, no question. And we are joined now by Elisa Defoe, who's with Social News Desk, and you all have a solution, right? Talk to me a little bit about it.
We do. We are both former executive producers, so when we worked in TV, we saw that there certainly was a problem with social media, just getting to be bigger, a lot of pages, a lot of people trying to manage those pages, so we created software that really allows them to do it in one place, to do it strategically, to do it efficiently, and to make money also off social.
Wow. All right. So it's like a Hootsuite for newsrooms, really. I'm actually also a fellow EP, so I can relate to this nightmare that is, how does it work to bring all of them together?
Right. So essentially, the whole concept is that we understand that newsrooms are busy. That's just kind of a fact. So giving them one more thing to do was really not necessarily our goal. We wanted to make it easier and streamline everything. So it's essentially one dashboard where they can see all of their different social accounts, post to it, get alerts essentially when they aren't posting frequently enough, and then also keep track of the different users. So I would know if you've posted something, you would know if I posted something. So it's really just giving them a place to work as a team and allow the left hand to know what the right hand is doing.
Fantastic. All right. If news folks out there want to learn more, how do they find out about Social News Desk?
Follow us on Twitter at Social News Desk, socialnewsdesk.com, and we'll respond right away.
Sounds good. Elisa, thanks so much. We appreciate you being here, right here at the NAB Show, Studio One. Welcome back, everybody. You are looking at live pictures right here at NAB Studio One. We want to take a moment and thank the people who have made this happen behind the scene. We've got Brett, Jeff, Roy, and Kyle from Freeman. Could not have done it without you. Nope. Freeman designed this studio. Whoop, whoop. It's been amazing. We've got, listen to this, the CNTV team. Our fearless leader, EP Greg Powers, John McClellan, Orlando Poro, Chuck Green, Marcelo Zolesi, and let's see, Vinny, how could I forget Vinny? Right? Everybody saw Vinny, who came to do interviews here, as well as Walter, who's been manning the camera. You can't see Walter because He's holding the camera
and
right now.
of course, James from Bright Cove, who's helping us live stream right now.
That's right. We've got also Bob Citrick from Citrick Productions, who's been one of our other fearless leaders. It's been an amazing team,
We're
right?
turning into like an award show thank you speech. Like, I'd like to thank,
That's right.
everybody, but you have to because it's so important because this is not done with just one person. It's done with an amazing team of professionals in the broadcast industry who do this every day on a living, just like you and I do.
That's right. It's been very cool because we are in the broadcast industry to not only be broadcasting, but broadcasting to broadcasters. So this has been amazing. We're with Convention News Television. We've had the opportunity to do all kinds of live interviews as well as stories from the show floor.
Oh yeah, I've been able to go out into the show floor in the Sprocket Pavilion, in the North Hall, South Hall, even outside in the Silver Lot. There's just so much to see and do, and there are so many interesting people here that just run the gamut of the broadcast industry, of all across the industry.
Absolutely. This has been a thrill. This is NAB Show Extra. We've also had NAB Show Live every day at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. You can see them all at nabshow.com. So in case you weren't here, in case you missed it, these are all being played video on demand right there at nabshow.com.
Yes,
So
all our coverage is there. It's been just such a blast.
it's great. All right, Rachel, we're going to have to say goodbye.
Yes.
This has been amazing.
It's been awesome, Carrie. It's been so much fun up here with you.
We're going to leave you with a cool video that we shot going through the halls just a few minutes ago. It's starting to clear out with our GoPro. So for all of us at CNTV, right here at NAB Show Studio 1, we'll see you next year.